19th century Europe, a time of profound transformation where the old world was giving way to the new, and the certainties of the past were being questioned. A world gilded with the fading light of religion, teetering on the precipice of change. The once unshakable faith in divine providence was now overshadowed by doubt and skepticism. It was in this world, amidst the rumble of industrial machinery and the whispers of societal upheaval, that Friedrich Nietzsche dared to stare into the abyss. The relentless march of progress brought with it not just technological advancements, but also existential questions. His gaze, unflinching, pierced the veil of comforting illusions, revealing a truth both terrifying and liberating: the death of God. Nietzsche's philosophy was not just a critique, but a profound exploration of what it means to live in a world without divine order. Nietzsche was not merely observing the slow decline of religious belief. He was declaring its demise, a seismic event that would send shockwaves through the foundations of Western thought. His proclamation was a call to re-evaluate the very essence of human existence. His pronouncements were not those of a gleeful executioner, but of a mournful prophet, lamenting the loss of an anchor while simultaneously embracing the exhilarating, terrifying freedom it offered. Nietzsche's vision was one of both despair and hope, a duality that continues to resonate. With God gone, Nietzsche saw a world stripped bare, a world where humanity was at once both author and protagonist of its own story. In this new narrative, individuals were tasked with creating their own meaning, a daunting yet liberating endeavor. God is dead, Nietzsche famously proclaimed. But this was no mere theological observation. It was a declaration that shook the very foundations of Western thought. It was a philosophical earthquake. The death of God for Nietzsche signified the collapse of absolute truth, the disintegration of the moral certainties that had underpinned Western civilization for centuries. Into this void, Nietzsche thrust the weight of his own ideas, concepts as challenging as they were revolutionary. He saw the death of God as an opportunity for humanity to redefine itself, to create new values and meanings. Central to Nietzsche's philosophy was the concept of the will to power, a driving force that permeated all living things. This was not merely a desire for power in the conventional sense, but an instinctual striving for growth, mastery, and self-expression. It was the force that drove life to evolve, to overcome obstacles, and to reach higher forms of existence. This was not a call to domination over others, but a call to overcome oneself, to constantly push against one's limitations and strive for self-actualization. Nietzsche believed that true power came from within, and that the greatest challenge was to conquer one's own fears and weaknesses. Adding another layer of complexity to his philosophy was the concept of eternal recurrence. Imagine, Nietzsche proposed, that you were condemned to relive your life, every joy and sorrow, every triumph and failure for all eternity. This was not just a thought experiment, but a profound challenge to live life with such intensity and purpose that you would welcome its eternal return. Would you embrace this fate or recoil in horror? This thought experiment was not meant to be taken literally, but served as a litmus test for one's life choices. It was a call to live authentically, to embrace every moment as if it would be repeated for eternity. Nietzsche's ideas were radical and often misunderstood, but they continue to resonate because they challenge us to think deeply about our own lives and the values we hold dear. They urge us to question the status quo, to seek our own path, and to live with a sense of purpose and urgency. In a world where old certainties are crumbling, Nietzsche's call to embrace the will to power and the eternal return remains as relevant as ever. It is a call to live fully, to create meaning in a world without absolutes, and to find strength in the face of life's greatest challenges. Nietzsche's ideas, radical for their time, resonated with particular force in the 20th century, serving as a crucial precursor to the existentialist movement. His philosophy, which challenged the traditional values and beliefs of society, laid the groundwork for a new way of thinking about human existence and freedom. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus, grappling with the absurdity of existence in the wake of World War II, found a kindred spirit in Nietzsche. They were drawn to his ideas about the individual's role in creating meaning in a seemingly indifferent universe. Sartre, with his assertion that existence precedes essence, echoed Nietzsche's belief that we are born into a world devoid of inherent meaning, and that it is through our choices and actions that we create our own values and define our own purpose. This idea was revolutionary, as it placed the responsibility for meaning squarely on the shoulders of the individual, and that it is through our choices and actions that we create our own values and define our own purpose. This existentialist perspective was a response to the disillusionment and despair that many felt in the aftermath of the war, offering a way to reclaim agency and find personal significance. Camus too wrestled with the problem of meaninglessness, exploring themes of revolt and individual freedom in a world seemingly devoid of God and absolute truth. His concept of the absurd highlighted the conflict between our desire for meaning and the silent, indifferent universe. The thread connecting Nietzsche to these existentialist thinkers is the spirit of rebellion, a refusal to accept preordained meanings or be confined by societal norms. This rebellious spirit was not just about rejecting the old ways, but about actively creating new paths and new meanings. It's about confronting the void, not with despair, but with a defiant affirmation of the human spirit's capacity to create meaning in a meaningless universe. This existential courage, inspired by Nietzsche, Sartre, and Camus, continues to resonate, encouraging us to face the uncertainties of life with resilience and creativity. Nietzsche's legacy, like his philosophy, is complex and often fraught with misinterpretations. His emphasis on the will to power in particular has been tragically distorted, most notably by the Nazi regime, who twisted his ideas to fit their own hateful ideology. This appropriation, a gross misreading of Nietzsche's work, is a stark reminder of the dangers of interpreting complex philosophical ideas through a simplistic lens. Nietzsche, a fierce critic of nationalism and anti-Semitism, would have undoubtedly been horrified by the Nazis' attempt to claim him as their own. Beyond the realm of philosophy, Nietzsche's influence has seeped into other disciplines, most notably psychology. His ideas about the unconscious mind, the power of drives and instincts, and the importance of self-discovery resonated deeply with early psychologists like Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. Nietzsche's willingness to delve into the darker recesses of the human psyche, to explore the tension between our rational and irrational impulses, paved the way for new ways of understanding the complexities of the human mind. His work continues to be a source of inspiration for psychologists today, reminding us that the journey of self-discovery is often a descent into the depths of our own being. The arts, too, have not been immune to Nietzsche's influence. His critique of traditional morality, his exploration of nihilism and the death of God, and his emphasis on individual expression resonated with artists and writers grappling with the uncertainties of the 20th century. From the existentialist literature of Sartre and Camus to the absurdist plays of Samuel Beckett, Nietzsche's ideas can be seen lurking beneath the surface, shaping artistic expressions of alienation, rebellion, and the search for meaning in a seemingly meaningless world. His influence continues to be felt today, inspiring artists and writers to challenge conventions and explore the human condition with unflinching honesty. Even popular culture, that great reflector of our collective anxieties and aspirations, has not escaped Nietzsche's reach. His ideas, often simplified and repackaged, have seeped into movies, music, and even video games. While these interpretations may not always be academically rigorous, they speak to the enduring power of Nietzsche's ideas, their ability to resonate with people from all walks of life, even in their most distilled and accessible forms. Whether it's a superhero grappling with the burden of power, or a rock star railing against the constraints of society, echoes of Nietzsche's thought can be found in the most unexpected places. Nietzsche's legacy is not one that can be easily categorized or neatly summarized. He was a philosopher who defied categorization, a thinker whose ideas continue to provoke, challenge, and inspire more than a century after his death. Perhaps his most enduring legacy lies in his emphasis on the power of self-creation. In a world stripped of preordained meaning, Nietzsche reminds us that we are the authors of our own destinies, that we have the power to shape our own values and create meaning in a seemingly meaningless universe. Nietzsche's challenge to us, then, is not to mourn the death of God, but to embrace the freedom it affords. It is a call to live authentically, to embrace our will to power, and to write our own life stories with courage, creativity, and an unflinching commitment to self-discovery. The pen is in our hands, the page is blank. What will you write?